Scotland squad, folks. Gregor Townsend has named his squad for the November internationals. We'll go through the squad, who's in and who's out, and the fixtures that are being lined up. October as well, with the first game. But obviously the fact that there's no Finn Russell sticks out like an absolute sore thumb. There's been a bit of talk that apparently he's expecting a child, but Gregor Townsend literally said he needs to show some form, basically, to get himself in the squad. So it seems to me like he's been dropped. There was nothing about he's going to be back after his missus has his baby kind of thing. So that's a big call. Can't help but wonder if there's been a bit of a falling out again or something going on in the background, but no Finn Russell. There you go. I haven't been watching the top 14, so I don't know what kind of form he's been in, but there you go. Interesting times. What that means is a recall for Adam Hastings. I mean, he was initially recalled to go on the July tour, but ended up getting injured, didn't he? So, yeah, Adam Hastings, Blair Kinghorn, Ross Thompson are the 10s. Ross Thompson seems to be kind of always floating there or thereabouts, but doesn't get a lot of game time, does he? Seems like Blair Kinghorn is he the guy? Gregor Townsend seems to be determined that he's going to be the guy, but I mean, Adam Hastings has been playing well for Gloucester as well. So we will see. George Horn, Ben White, Ali Price, your 9s. I think that's pretty kind of steady as she goes. I think Ben Vellacott is injured, so that's kind of not too surprising. Cameron Redpath is back. Dude's injury prone, so we'll see if he stays fit. For Bath and for Scotland, he's been very, very injury prone. So we'll see if he gets any game time. Mark Bennett, Chris Harris, Sione Tuapolotu, and Stafford McDowell. Stafford McDowell's one of your uncapped guys. I think Gregor Townsend basically said with Sam Johnson being unavailable through injury, it's kind of a chance for Stafford McDowell to get a crack. And he said he started the season well. So, yeah, how the midfield lines up is going to be an interesting one. Outside backs, McLean, Stain, Hoyland, Van der Merwe, Graham, Smith, and Hogg. And Hogg is not captain. Hogg is just going to be free to play his game. I think I prefer that. Numerous people have said, fullback ain't necessarily the best position for your captain because you're so far away from the action a lot of the time. Jamie Ritchie. It's the Ritchie connection. Jamie Ritchie being the captain, I think personally, positionally and maybe personally, is a better choice. But so it's not huge changes in the backs. Stafford McDowell's your only uncapped guy of the bunch. Well, Ollie Smith only got 1, but it's still a big, big call not to have Finn. I would like to know what's going on in the background because I feel like there has to be something. But I mean, rugby's a team game, and if he's not playing by whatever Gregor's game plan is, maybe that is a factor. Forwards, Ashman, Cherry, and Turner are your hookers. I think Stuart McAnally is still injured, isn't he? So he's another one who's had a fair few injuries in recent times. Props is interesting because you got Murphy Walker, the 22-year-old loosehead from Glasgow. I don't know bugger all about him, but he's in the squad. Who else? Rory Sutherland, that's good news. Pierre Schoolman, Jamie Baddies, Andrew Ferguson, Via Purnell. I think you got some pretty decent propping stocks. Don't you think you're pretty well acquitted there? So hopefully this chap Walker gets some game time, though. I guess it's a chance for Gregor Townsend and the coaches to have a look at him. Locks is pretty steady as she goes, but Richie Gray being back in the mix is also a bit of good news. I mean, Gregor said he's playing the best rugby that he's seen him play in a long time, so I think I would back that up based on what I've seen him playing for Glasgow recently. He seems to be getting through a ton of work, so I think you'd have to be pretty happy with that. Lucy's is always a really competitive one, and it's interesting to see Jack Dempsey gets called up. Remember, he's played international rugby before, but for the Wallabies, but the stand-down period's enough that Jack is now eligible for Scotland, so he could end up playing his former team in the Wallabies in October if chosen. But it's always an interesting one because Jack Dempsey being chosen means a guy like Dylan Richardson, who already was in the mix with Scotland not that long ago, doesn't get a game. But I mean, Gregor Townsend was all full of praise for the way Jack Dempsey's been playing and the way he wants guys in that back row to play. So, I mean, assuming that Jamie Ritchie's going to start the games when he's captain, And Matt Ferguson's been cracking along pretty well as well. And then Hamish Watson tends to be the other guy. I don't know where the room is, but maybe he'll mix things up a wee bit. So maybe it's not just going to be that familiar kind of Richie Watson, Ferguson back three. But either way, I mean, Andy Christie, Josh Bayless, Luke Crosby, Rory Darge is injured, but you guys are pretty spoiled for choice. A lot of countries, I think, are really blessed with depth in the back row, and Scotland is certainly another one of those. So, yeah, it's just all about Finn Russell, isn't it? He's just such a larger-than-life personality, larger-than-life player. Mercurial, is that the right word? He does stuff nobody else can do, doesn't he? Can unlock defences. Rory Hutchinson's an interesting one. I don't think he's injured. Why isn't he in the squad? That's a very, very confusing one. But, yeah, Cam Redpath, if he can stay fit, I guess he can do a job. Australia, Fiji, New Zealand and Argentina. So 3 of the 4 rugby championship sides. Going to be a tasty one when New Zealand comes to town, to be honest. Because remember the last time we went to Murrayfield, it was a pretty tough ask. Very fortunate one. The Wallabies game falls outside the test window, but there's not that many guys who are playing for clubs that won't be getting released. I mean, obviously, like guys like Ben White, he's probably still going to be playing for London Irish. Any of the Premiership guys I don't think will be available, or any. Well, there's no top 14 guys at the moment, is there? So I guess Hoggy and Johnny Gray will still be with the Chiefs, but yeah, the Fiji one could be a pretty crazy matchup based on the way both teams like to play. And then Michael Cheika's Argentinians come to town. So, yeah, man, it's looking pretty tasty. What do you guys reckon? Is it 3 wins needed for the Scots for a successful October-November period? Do they go 4? Could they go 2? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one with Scotland. I don't know. Really hard. But, yeah. Is it Kinghorn that's going to play 10? I reckon that's the way things are looking, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. You guys let us know your thoughts. If you want any British and Irish Lions gear, it's probably still on special. 70% off last time I checked. Check the link down in the description. Otherwise, yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.